Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back. And it's a Friday edition of the N Hoosier show. I was gone Monday, so we didn't get to talk about the upcoming spring major. So we figured, why not? Let's get on here and just talk about it now. With me, as always, Bucket. How are you doing?
Oh, man, we missed you. We're so glad that you're back. Thanks for inviting me to Friday edition. I was super stoked when I saw you post about it. So excited to be around.
We have to do it. There's too much stuff that's been happening over the past couple of days to not get on here and chat about it since we didn't get to Monday. What's your takeaway so far? PRS dude, welcome, buddy. How you doing? But yeah, what do you think so far of the spring major?
It's kind of one of those things where, like, I'm not surprised by anything anymore, but also it's surprising to look at the 8 teams that are left are not the 8 teams that I probably would have picked any given day to show up here. So I'm not surprised, but I am surprised at the same time. It's a weird feeling. What about you?
Well, we can definitely, like, I would say there's 3 teams for sure. Actually, no, I will say 4. I think 4 of the teams, because I would throw Furia in there if we had a chance to talk Monday. I was very heavily on the South America region. Someone asked for a hot take, and I had put out there that I said NA will come out on top, and South America and MENA will shine. And that is time stamped and it's in there, and we're still on track for that, because Falcons for MENA, they have looked amazing. And then South America has just been fantastic. Today, they secured a 3rd team for their region coming in, which is bonkers to think about. But so far, they have 3 teams now that are on their way. Taking one, Oceania was going to get a 3rd, and that was going to be Power. But when Furia won against FaZe, that ended that right then and there.
Yeah, the FaZe. That's one of the surprising. I mean, who are the surprising teams that aren't left? FaZe, BDS, G2. G2 is just that's the one that throws me the most. G2, like losing to Carmine and then just losing straight out to Liquid, right? In a best of 5.
So that's the thing, and that's what was pointed out. If you're G2, what you feel worse about is not only that you lost, but you got reverse swept twice.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's a tough pill to swallow.
That's super tough. Like, how do you, especially when you were the number 1 seed, you were dominant in NA in spring, and
since the last LAN. I mean, really
they kept it going.
This is the first time they've even tripped, let alone fallen on their faces.
Oh, yeah, this was not just a trip. This was a fall on their face. Getting reverse swept by Carmine Corp, which, to be fair, that team looks really good. And
yeah,
that was a team I had even talked about during spring of they had shown greatness, and I think it was in Regional 2. They kind of flopped a little bit, but they're coming back strong, looking very good. Going up against V1 tomorrow. And how much have you kept up with what's gone on with V1 over this week?
Not much. I was trying to catch up with that actually earlier. What's your take? What's going on?
Did you see what got caught on Rizzo's stream of what Com did?
I didn't.
So we all know Com. Com likes from last major in LA. His whole goal was to take the pressure off of beast mode, right? So he was being very loud, bringing the focus to him, and he's continued that. And we had in day 1 when they were playing Endpoint, he might have said, "What the fuck are you doing? You fucking suck." And it didn't say who talked to him, but sources are basically saying, thinks Ionix told him no more cursing. Knock that off. So he said on Twitter that he's going to be a family-friendly shit talker And
That's tough though, because listen, and I know in most sports we're dealing with like more adults in their
adult
20s and 30s, but if you go and you sit close, or if you get a mic'd up player in like a live action sport, there's a lot of that going on. So it's hard to knock people. Even when I'm at home, I'm cursing. Right. I mean, it's just the way that you play these games and the emotion that comes out. So it's hard to fault him for that. But yeah, when you're supposed to be a forward facing player and people are put you under a microscope online, you're going to get that fallout.
Oh, you are. And it was kind of funny because I was watching it live when it happened. And from Rizzo's stream, Rizzo's laughing. And then you hear Athena, she's like, oh my gosh, did he really say that? And so I know, like, just that right there was your two extremes. There's the people that are like, all right, he said it, like, it happens. But then there's a lot of people like, I can't believe he said that, or is this what we're promoting? And it's like, come on, it's kind of funny.
If you didn't play Call of Duty 10 years ago when online multiplayer came out and it was really prevalent, that you would hear words that maybe no other place you would ever hear these words. I mean, it's just the culture of video games has some anger built into it, but also a lot of profanity. It just does.
It really does. I mean, I remember the running joke I always had. My mom was like, "What do people talk about on there?" And I was like, "Oh, I learn things about you all the time, Mom. They say a lot of things about you." She's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "I'm not gonna repeat it." My dad thought that one was funny.
But, like, Mom, you don't know Gun Shooter 453? You don't know him? He says he knows you.
He says he knows you very well.
He said he was going to marry you and ground me if I don't do what I say.
Yeah, he also said you guys did a lot of interesting things in your time. So, but yeah, like that's that whole, right? Like we're seeing this kind of change, and are people supposed to not do that anymore? Is that okay? And there's definitely a divide of, yeah, that stuff's okay, but there's other people that want it to be very family friendly. Because I think the fear is that the average person sitting at home is gonna do that. Like, think about when you go play a pickup basketball game on a weekend. You don't want someone sitting there doing, like, we all think that person's like, all right, you can stop now. Like, we're just here playing. But when you're actually on the full competitive side of it, I think you got to let it fly.
There's probably a really big gray area here. There isn't like a hard, fast rule, but I would say, yeah, let it go, move on, no big deal. But if it becomes a problem where it's affecting other people, or it becomes like a bully situation or something, yeah, then you got to step in. But the kids are just letting their emotions fly. Let the kids play. That's the same argument baseball had a couple years ago. It was like, these kids are bat flipping, they're pimping stuff, they're doing all this crazy stuff, and the old school players are old school baseball lovers are like, hey, no, we can't have this, and new people are coming in like, just let the kids play. So it'll start to transition into certain ways.
You're disrespecting the game. I can't believe you would promote that. How dare you?
It's all fun, man.
It is all fun.
That's the point of it, right? Like, these kids want to win, they want to play, they want to have fun at the same time, they want to make money, and emotions come into that stuff.
Emotions definitely get very high. I think the funnier part about that whole situation, everybody hones in on that Com said this, but if you look at the whole situation, not too long after he said that, Endpoint scored on them, and it got very quiet over there on the V1 side. And even Com was like, yeah.
Yeah, maybe. But that's like kill cams, like 50 Cal's talking about COD when you played. Probably you got to talk shit to your teammates, but also when you killed someone or they killed you and you got to hear their voice over the thing. That would be so funny in Rocket League if you heard the other team after a goal was scored or something like that, like a kill cam goal score.
I almost wonder if for like just like us, if at the end game when everybody's sitting in there, like it's open chat lobby then at that time. Like that would be interesting.
Mm-hmm. And that's the other thing. Like I have like sometimes when I first started playing, I was like, what if my 7-year-old was playing this game? Would I like what is being said? But you have the ability to turn this stuff off.
Yep.
Right. Like if you don't want to hear it, just turn it off. And they even make it so you can only have quick chat. You can make it so you can't have all this other stuff. So if you have it open, you should just be aware that you're going to get every possible thing. Right. And I don't know how much they I remember that there was a point when like PlayStation came out and said that they were recording all the conversations. I highly doubt there's a database of recorded conversations of Psionics chat, but it could be. So just CYA, cover your own ass if you need to, but let it fly, have fun, man. I think it's hilarious.
That's how you definitely should be. What team has surprised you the most?
It's hard to say. It's hard to say that Falcons has surprised me because we haven't really seen them at this level where we thought we were going to see them in the winter, right? Like we thought we were going to get this, and now we're getting it. So it's not really surprising, I guess, but that's still my team where you're like, man, it's so fun to feel like they're going to do it, and they keep doing it. Like it feels good to watch them win games. I don't know why. It just does.
It really does.
But probably Optic. I mean, I have nothing but I just want to see them lose, just for no other reason but to like laugh at you. But no, they're playing well too. I mean, there's they got the best new what is it? Their whole view of them, their new design, graphics and stuff.
Oh yeah,
looks really cool. Yeah,
but
I don't know. That most of the people who have surprised me are gone. That surprised me the most. But like we talked about G2, but winning wise, I just say Falcons because it's so enjoyable to watch these kids, finally be able to shine in their moment, and they're doing it awesome.
100%. Yeah, I would say for like Wonka said, Liquid. Liquid's not surprising to me because of how like stacked that team is with rookies, and they're very good, and we've seen that work very well. The match that surprised me was Pioneers and BDS. I did not expect BDS like. Who kept? They were talking about it afterwards of what did you see them do, and it was that and it made sense. BDS was over pushing. They had like so many double commits. No one was ever in the back to clean stuff up. Probably the best shot I saw of that series was Banana Head coming. Oh, what was it? Ceiling reset, and then just boom, just over two of them. That was like I was watching that and I was like, where are these guys even communicating? It just seemed like they're sitting up there quiet, which that was the reason they dropped Mark by 8 was because he didn't speak the same native language, so they wanted to communicate better. Yet they come to this major and there's no communication at all.
Listen, I mean, the thing about BDS is, well, first of all, for Pioneers, you go in and you 3-0 BDS in the lower round, and then you have to go against Moist immediately after that. Like, that's the worst back-to-back matchup, especially if you're on a high and you're like, oh my gosh, we can do this. And then who's our next opponent? Oh, it's Moist. All right, we have to deal with that. So that sucked for them. But yeah, they showed up and did exactly what they needed to do to win that series. But BDS, this is the second LAN in a row where there were where people are there that they just fell right on their faces.
They did say that there were about, when that match happened, that there's about, with crew and family and players there, I think it was just over like 100 people that are around, and they said everybody was glued to that game. They did talk about that on Rizzo's stream. So you kind of did have a small crowd vibe and people like reacting, and so like that was there. And And maybe there's like Wonka said, and I said it in another Discord. Maybe there's not a land team.
That winter major was. I sat down. That was the very first game too.
Yep,
I talked about it.
You talking about it.
And I was like, "Is this what we're gonna watch? Are these kids even know how to play this game?" It was so crazy. So it just feels like they were out of their element both times, and I don't know why that is. If it's a mental thing, if it's a comfortability thing, if it's I don't know, but they got to get that figured out before Worlds.
But that's kind of what it felt like again. Like that first game that you saw at Worlds is what it looked like here in London as well. Because it looked like it was a pickup game. Like they were all just trying to do something and no one's communicating. I don't understand. I never want to hear Johnny Boy again say and talk about BDS. They're one of the greatest teams. They haven't shown us anything in 2 majors now. And
Nothing.
That has me super worried for them going to Worlds where they're supposed to be the top ranked team. I don't know how points are going to shake out if Moist is able to make the lower bracket run. Which I mean, that's kind of what
I was going to ask you, if there's a possibility of someone coming over the top now that they just kind of floundered here.
It would be the team. I don't know if the points will work out, but Moist is poised to do what they did in LA.
Mom spaghetti.
They've done this before, so they know they can do it. It's going to be about who they run into along the way.
I guess. I mean, losing to who'd they lose to the very first game? Secret or something? Where I lost my page.
So they lost in round 2 to V1. V1 just dominated them.
Oh yeah.
I think it was too overconfident in that game. And V1 is there to play, and I love it right now. They to me, V1 is a LAN team.
Yeah, they feed on the hype. I mean, maybe not even as much as SSG can, because SSG has this they hear the noise in the crowd, and for some reason it just gives them that energy. It's like Hulkamania or something. Like they just start, getting that like boom, 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 like that wind going. Yep. I don't know. It's crazy. Good for them, though. That's how you have to play these things, and they don't get this opportunity a lot. I've said it before, like when you have these opportunities to shine on a national or worldwide spotlight, like there's certain players and certain teams that just seize that, and they're doing it.
They really are. That Space Station series against KCP, I was sitting in my hotel room watching that, and I'm literally thinking to myself, God damn it, they're going to go out. They're first round, they're going to go down. And it was in that game 3. Like, they finally got that one goal, and it's like, all right, just chip away. Just keep chipping. And that's exactly what they did. Arsenal comes out. He switches to the Mustang, and it was game on from there. They looked great. Very shocked. Who said it today? Dree said it. That's what I was going to, because you were talking about Optic. Dree said today, anybody watching, if you have never watched Rizzo streams from these majors, go back and watch them, because it is like there's only 4,000. I say only. There's 4,000 people watching, but you get these. He just talks to the players, and Drees even said, he asked him like, "Were you guys nervous?" And he was like, "No, we felt like Secret they peaked on BDS in round 1. So they were very confident coming into this game," which if you look at it, that's kind of what they did. They peaked against BDS. They lose the Space Station, and they go down. They lose the Optic. Optic winning handedly in that series. But yeah, I feel for Team Secret. They did great. But can we talk about this, though? All the 3-0 sweeps.
That's what I'm talking about. I mean, the whole lower round 1 and half of the 2 are 3-0 sweeps.
Yeah.
And then there's 3-4 in the upper round 1. I mean, there's just so many zeros on the board. BDS didn't win a game.
Yeah, BDS did win it. BDS is 0-9 in their last 3 matches on land.
Just Gladiators didn't win a game.
Oh, come on.
I know, but I mean, one game. I know you got to play, but you played G2, who pretty much, shit the bed. So you had a chance there.
I think G2 is just overconfident, honestly.
It happens. I mean, there's only one way to go when you're at the top of the mountain.
Yeah, because you can't say that G2 isn't a LAN team because they won the last one. I think they'll
be fine.
Yeah, I honestly think that team will be fine. They will come back.
Humbling experiences sometimes breed more championship level play. Like, that's the way it goes. You have to sometimes get knocked back down in order to rise back up.
Yeah, even like today when that game wrapped up, you could even see on Sathy's face, like he was even like, how did we just lose this? What happened?
Because, they'll go analyze.
They were so close. Because they win the first 2 games very handily, 3-1, 3-0, and then they lose 3-1, 2-1, 2-1. It was like, oh my Lord, can you just finish it? Just put the nail in the coffin there. So for you, who is your pick for like to go forward? Who
Man, it's hard to go against V1 or SSG in the next set. But I would love to see Falcons make it to the upper bracket final and then give them that extra shot to get to the grand final. Without having to play an extra set. Because here's the one. I mean, you lose this upper semifinal, you got a whole extra set of games you have to play now. Mm-hmm. And that's tough. But if you win and get to upper bracket, you still only got to play one extra set and then the reset. So this is like really important matchups, these top 4 of the upper semifinals. So I probably have Space Station and V1 going through just based off of the fact of what we said, playing so well at LAN. And then you can't ever count Moist out. And if Optic Gaming gets through there, I might have to switch faces and start rooting for him. But I think at the end of the day, we're going to see, the 4 teams that we both have said probably that we would have picked to be there in the top 4. V1, SSG, Moist, and I mean, crapshoot for the 4th, Falcons, Optic maybe.
So I think Moist will take down Liquid. I mean, that's the battle of the EU youngins there, right? So I think Moist will come out on top on that one because that is in front of a crowd. Liquid's never been in front of the crowd. Moist has. So
it's going to get crazy out there, too.
That's in Moist's favor. I will say, I think Falcons are going to take down Space Station in the upper and give us a Space Station Moist rematch in the lower.
I hope you're right. I mean, I really do, but it's hard to. Rematch. It's tough.
Falcons.
That would be the ideal. Good. So you're talking the ideal matchup situation is one that you actually want to see play out. That would be really cool.
I want to see that play out because I want to see Space Station come back and get revenge on Moist. What do I want to say? Wait, is it like 3-0 or does Moist have a hard time against Liquid? I don't think it'll be 3-0. I think it will at least. I think Liquid's at least going to get 1 on them. I don't think it'll.
I'm
be
not
3-0.
sure we're going to see another 3-0 the rest of the way.
If we do, super shocked if we did.
I would be surprised, but again, I mean, the crowd is a wild card at this point, especially for the teams that don't have the experience.
Right. And in that arena too, because like where you guys were in LA, the players were here, the crowd was here. In London, you are surrounded. It's going to be
No escape.
No, and another funny thing from Rizzo's stream today was Rizzo talked about that, about the crowd being there tomorrow, and he asked, like, he looked at Drees, he's like, have you played in front of a crowd? And Drees goes, no. And Turbo just turned, oh, little baby, never been in front of a crowd.
They should have handed Turbo a cane and told him to keep walking.
And he would have smacked you in the face. I'm a 4-time.
Oh my
But yeah,
goodness.
I think that Moist Space Station rematch, oh my god, that's gonna be so good. I think it's gonna happen because Falcons have looked too good. Khaled's 1v1 skills, I think that's the thing I've been impressed with the most, is you can tell, like, we've talked about mechanics and everything, right? And you and I talked about this last split of realizing being able to have more tools in your bag to use when going for a shot. And definitely Falcons, they are ones of, like, you think they're going to go shoot that ball and they will soft hit it. They'll slow play it all of a sudden out of nowhere and just send people flying past it. And they have a wide open shot.
Dude, they just have, like you said, just a bag of tricks, and they know when to pull each one out. And what a crazy skill set these kids have. I hate to blow up their, like, and be on them, but they got something, man. Just something special.
They really do. It's fantastic. I was gonna go look at. Hang on, there was a tweet I wanted to look at. That was, who did it come from? It was earlier today. Oh, Asher had a funny one where talking about AJ and Typical, like, oh, we get him next land. And it's Uncle Phil laughing like, next one, like he's gonna drop one of them now. But where was this other one? Oh, it was Virtuoso. So Virtuoso, I don't think he's on a team right now. But his tweet today, don't care what anyone says, NA might have better performing teams right now, but EU has the better individual talent, just spread out way more and not all together on super teams like NA. To my recollection, there's only one true super team in NA, and that's the team that didn't get to LAN.
Well, I mean, they're just, I don't know. Maybe I don't know if there can be a super team. Just everyone's so good at this level at this point. So, I mean, you're not talking the top 2 or 3 players out of the top 10 who have, like, a huge advantage over other ones, but you are talking, when you're talking about NRG, like, some of the all-time bests to play in the RLCS. So yeah, that's where you get that super team but mentality. I'm not sure that that's a true statement. Like you said, I'd have to agree with you.
Right. I wouldn't agree with it at all. Because when I think of a super team, right, like you're talking about, that's all players that could go off and be like the main player on another team, and you build around them. To me, NRG is the only team that has those 3 players that can do that. I wouldn't even consider G2 a super team because I don't think if you pull, JNAPS is the only one. I mean, Chicago is a very good player, but in my head, JNAPS is the only one that I'm building a team around because he is that person who can make a big change on it. Even though Chicago can, I don't think he's there in the general aspect of being that general on the field. He's kind of a guy that goes off and does his own thing.
Yeah.
The most interesting reply was from Cookser. Oh, and also BDS is a super team.
Not on LAN, apparently.
Not on LAN, though. Cookser responded with, individual talent won't do anything if players can't play proper 3v3. EU has been on a downfall ever since COVID. Everyone's focus has been mechanics and 2v2. Mark was doing so much in rotation and speed that you can't just expect any individually skilled player to do better. I really like that take because I I think he's spot on because even on the NA side, what was something they always said about Daniel? Daniel came up in the 1v1 and 2v2 playlist. Chrome even said that they had to really coach him on 3v3s because he hadn't really played 3v3s.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that mechanics have become the mindset, you're kind of seeing it with Furia. If you watch Furia today against FaZe, most, if not all their goals were like legit assists. There's one goal in particular is like, I think the first or second goal they scored in game 1 where it was a legit like great pass, nice shot into the low corner. Like those are actually happening. It's almost like we're seeing the old Cloud9 infield passing really being a factor this LAN, which we were all kind of missing through the whole split, I felt like.
Oh man, I don't know anymore. There's just so much going on, Hoosier. I mean, what do you say?
I think what you say is that EU is not as good as everybody thought they were. Or if you quote old Arizona coach, I can't remember his name, they were who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook. That's what EU is saying after every match right now.
You think?
I would say that.
Yeah,
it's either
okay.
that or like for BDS, they came in that confident that they just thought they were gonna have easy wins. Wonka overrated. Honestly, they're over. Yeah, it's.
I hate to feel that these teams are coming in like that after they've seen so many giants fall. Like I would hate if that's the way, like, then you got to look at the coaching and the organization and stuff like that to keep these guys on point. Cause I would never allow my team to have that mentality. If I think we should beat a team, then we're going in there and we're doing everything we can to make a statement. Right? Like that's my thought process. Not, oh, let's go in here and win these games and move on to the next one and look forward to that. If you have that mentality even when you go play a casual game, let alone if you're looking at people's MMR on Bacchus Mod or something, you're like, oh, they've got a 1300 on their team or they've got a whatever. We're just going to be easy. That kid's going to come out and he's going to be swinging for the fences. He's going to be doing everything he can to win that game. And if you're not ready for it, you're going to get stuck in the face. And if you have that at the championship level of any sport, then you're doing the wrong thing.
Oh, 100% you are. Like something that always gets talked about is in scrims, right? Like they kind of have stopped talking about scrims because they're like, oh, scrims are never a good showing of how the match is going to be. And it's almost like you're wondering at this point, is a team using scrims to their advantage of, all right, I'm not going to show my whole bag of tricks. Let's just see how they do things and we'll adjust our game plan to that. Because I know V1, like you have bits and pieces heard them talk about that, you know, they really do analyze what do players do. And we've talked to Jesu. He has coaching experience at the bubble team level, and that's kind of what you're looking for, right? Hey, this player typically does this player typically does that. So if it's getting that far down to the analytics, yeah, what's BDS and the other teams not doing that these other teams are?
Yeah, interesting take on the scrims. I mean, I would almost treat scrims like an NFL team treats like practice, right? Like you don't necessarily tackle the quarterback or even touch the quarterback, but you got to go out there and like perform. You practice like you're going to play all the way up into the point where you're like, okay, that's enough. Like you don't go 110% that people say, but you don't go half speed just trying to make it through to get the practice in. Like that's never going to work.
No, it never is. But yeah, it's so wild right now.
And NRG is the biggest. I mean, if you're talking about scrims, the word scrim just puts like a chill down my spine because they were there's so many bad things came out about them in their scrims. Like, what are they? Some sort of divas? Are they like taken it for that big of granted that just because they're on top right now, that they're always going to be on top. Hopefully they've been humbled.
I would say they have been humbled. I am, and I was beaten up on NRG a lot this split, and I do have high hopes that NRG for Worlds is not going to be the NRG that we saw in spring. I would imagine, and I would hope that they're putting in the time right now, really breaking down, seeing what these teams are doing. And hopefully Sizz is pulling replays and really trying to break down what they see teams doing, because the NRG has a long road for Worlds because they have to come up through the wild card. They don't have that automatic bid anymore.
Yeah, that's going to be scary for them. They have to show up.
Mm-hmm.
But there's just, dude, there's just so many good young players who are changing the face of the game. I'm dealing with it in just playing the game in general. I feel like it's just not the same game that I played before, and I have to adjust or I'm going to get left behind. Same thing here. Sometimes the way that it's always been done is not the way that it's continuing to go. And there's a better way sometimes. And I feel like that's what's happening.
Right. Is this a new tab? This is a new tab. I'm trying to look. I'm trying to remember.
There's a new tab in Liquipedia or what?
Okay, so it's the top 4 teams. So EU and NA1, EU and NA2 go forward. So it's the top 4 teams. Which, hang on, if we're looking at this, is there a chance? Oh, so there is a chance. I would say there is a chance that NA could have 3 teams. That would save NR. Oh, all right. So kind of interesting looking. If you're watching this, mind you, I'm trying to do math on the fly and I suck at that. But for the world, for the spots for Worlds, right now for the number 4 seed, it goes to EU2 with 1140, and NA3 sitting in the 5 seed is at 1100. So there would be a chance if NA shines better in here in the next 2 days. Optic has to be. You would have to have Optic beat Furia, and then either Space Station and V1 go to the uppers, or Space Station has to beat Moist or Liquid, and then you could move NA3 into the number 4 spot, which would then give NRG the automatic bid past, like they wouldn't have to play in the wild card.
Because they'd have more spots.
Yeah, NA would have more. NA would have 3 of the top 4 spots.
Wow. That's so crazy that
right?
The region winning more could help them out. You would assume that would just hurt them more.
I mean, that's what happened. That's what was happening today was when you had who was it? Pioneers going up against Moist. If Pioneers wins that game, then they get OCE would have got 3 teams and not Furia. Not South America, because Furia won. That gave South America 3 teams over OCE.
Wow.
So there is still there. So you're saying there's a chance. There's a chance NRG slides into that NA3. Because let me rephrase that. NA3 gets into the number 4 seed for Worlds. Now, Space Station is just. What's that? That's like 190. They're like 190 points behind NRG. And if we go and look at Winter, where's the major at? Oh, the major. Yep. how did the points split out? Oh. So if you finish third, you get 520 points. If you finish fourth, you get 440. Fifth or sixth, 380. Yeah, so they're guaranteed a top 6. Right? They win here. Yeah, they would get a top 6. So they're looking at too many tabs. 380 points, which could move them up into the number 3 spot. Oh my lord! And then Space Station wouldn't have to play through the wild card.
Wow.
There's a lot on the line this weekend.
Yeah, I didn't even think about the fallout from everything that could happen for other teams. That's crazy. I'm gonna have to go through and look at that stuff myself because you were speaking about it, but like I need to see it.
Yeah, so what really shook that up is Endpoint and BDS getting knocked out in the first round of the lowers. And then Moist and Liquid and Carmine Corp are helping to hang on, but you're going to have guaranteed one EU team get knocked out tomorrow. So that leaves you with 2, and there's a chance of 3 NA teams continuing on. Because I think tomorrow we go through upper semis, lower round 3, and lower quarterfinals. So that would mean that by the end of tomorrow, there's either there's a chance for no more EU teams to be standing, or 2 EU teams are standing, and 2 or 1 NA team.
Wow. That's just mind-boggling.
Yeah. Or there could be no NA team standing after tomorrow, and it's EU, MENA, South America. Wow. Just thinking about all that kind of just broke my brain. Because that's a lot of different scenarios going forward now.
I think that's the biggest takeaway here is the scenarios could change at any given moment, because you're hoping for 3 things to happen in order for one thing to happen, but that could happen or something completely different. Like, yeah, every match is going to help determine, something else. That's pretty crazy. Maybe that's like the whole setup for this.
I mean, it kind of
making things matter.
This is one thing I will give Psionics credit for this season, is that this part of the format keeps it very interesting. It keeps every game like that value to it. Like, every game has value, no matter what. Not even if you don't have a shot at going to Worlds, like Liquid does. Oh, I think Liquid. No. I think they cannot mathematically. I think they would have to win the whole thing to even have a mathematical chance.
Yeah.
That's 701 points. No. Yeah, they don't have enough. Simper goes no matter what.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because they said today Semper is locked. They are locked for going to Worlds. I think it was somebody else had to lose, but either way, like, yeah, that's nutty. That's definitely some excitement for this final major, because every game matters. You can't sleep on it. Like, at this point, you're not only fighting for yourself, but you're fighting for your region. And it really pulls the regions together. Like, right now, everybody for G2 it should be rooting for, like, if you're a fan of G2, you're rooting for V1 Space Station and Optic. You want
And the
NA
fans too, right?
Right.
Like that's what happened at the other land is I found myself feeling bad if I wasn't rooting for an NA team. But at the same time, I'm like, I still like these other guys. So it's confliction too. It's super fun.
Yeah, it makes it very interesting. What else happened this past week? There was a lot of stuff that happened. I think we've covered a lot of it though.
Yeah, there's still the live portion is coming up, and that's gonna be the exciting part.
It's gonna be very exciting. I'm definitely interested for tomorrow because with it being the smaller amount of games to be played compared to what was the last 2 days, I'm looking forward to the Psionics production stuff that they've come to know and be very good at. So that should be exciting. Usually they come up with something really good. I know Rizzo was, I think, filming some stuff, which him last time killed it. And like I had said before, if you never watched Rizzo streams during the first 2 days of LAN when they don't have people there, it's good. Can we talk about that? Why did they play so many games without people there? And when you guys went to LA, did you get 2 days or 3 days?
It was just 2 days.
Was it?
Oh wait, wasn't it? Now I can't even remember.
I thought you had 3 days.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I think I came in on Friday and left on Monday.
Velaz, good to see you too, buddy. How are you doing? Hang on, while I was looking.
I'm pretty sure it was only 2.
The first game you watched was BDS.
It was Saturday and Sunday, 26th and 27th. So that's how it was.
Yeah,
exactly.
It was only 2 days. I feel like this one you could have done 3.
The Worlds is 3 days, right?
Worlds is 3 days, yes.
Like the main event.
Yes. 3 days. And as we're looking forward to Worlds,
because that's like a full on, like they're doing all the different types from all the different splits.
Yes.
Like a Swiss into a round robin into whatever, you know what I mean?
So total 24 teams will go to Worlds, 8 teams will go straight through to the group stage, and
group
16
stage.
to the wild card event. Group stage, team selected, these regions. So you do group stage and then wild card. I'm guessing, what would the wild card be? I don't know. That's so far off, and we have so much to look forward to for that. But yeah, looking at this right now, it looks like APAC. Who's that? Gladiator. Oh, this is so weird. Yeah, this is gonna be weird when it finally all breaks out of who's gonna go. Yeah, it looking like right now for EU, BDS, Moist, Endpoint, Dignitas, Carmine Corp, Semper, NA, G2 Phase, NRG, Space Station, V1, and Optic. Renegades, Pioneers from OCE, and then South America with their 3 teams, Furia, Team Secret, and the Club. We haven't seen the Club yet. That's a team that hadn't gone to a major. And then out of MENA, they get 2 teams, Falcons and Veloce. Asia Pacific gets 1 team, Tokyo Verde. And did we even have a team from Asia Pacific in this major? I don't feel like we did.
Wasn't there?
Or is that Gladiators? No, Gladiators from Asia Pacific South, not Asia Pacific
APAC.
North.
Yeah.
I don't think we have an APAC North team.
OCUNA. Yeah, you're right.
Interesting. I wonder why that happened. Well, maybe that's APAC North and APAC South. Only one of those teams got to go.
Yeah, it was. Detonators and Gladiators played each other.
Velez, NRG is qualified for Worlds right now. What's up in the air for them is, are they going to be in the number 3 spot for NA or number 4 spot? And it's all dependent on Space Station and I guess V1 too. V1, they would mathematically have a chance to shoot up. Right? Yeah, because depending on where they finish. Yeah, God, these next 2 days are going to be tight. Tight like a tiger.
I'm excited.
I'm very excited too.
I'm going to try to watch them live. Or are you doing some sort of watch party?
I am going to try and do a watch party, obviously dependent on children and what they have going on. But I am going to try and be down here and watching. I'll be in our Discord. If you have not hopped in there yet, be sure to tune in. Hop in there, come say hi, share your thoughts, what you see going on, what you find interesting. We're usually trying to be in there chatting. But Bucket, do you have anything else?
I have so much. So much. But no, not about this. I'm excited for the rest of this weekend. I'm going to do as much Rocket League watching as possible and then get myself excited and stoked and prepared for Worlds, which you feel like is right around the corner, but it's like a month and a half away.
Right.
Which is crazy to think about. But yeah, I'm just going to sit back and try to enjoy this weekend as much as possible.
I'm going to do the same. And we appreciate you all tuning in on this random Friday, trying to catch up with what's going on. Friday or Monday is 4th of July for those of us here in America. I know you Canadians are having your Canada Day today, but we'll show you how to really do it on Monday. So right now, I think Bug and I were talking, and we might try and hop on here Sunday so we can recap what did happen this weekend and where everything falls for who's going to Worlds, what place they're going to be in, and what hill they'll have to climb to get there to the final spot. But I think that's going to do it for us. We are going to raid over to Joel's new channel, Channel 3. Be sure to go in there, say hi, tell him that, we miss him and we wish him best luck on what he's doing. See if he'll drop you an invite code to his new social media platform that he's trying to build for gamers. And it's pretty awesome. I'm kind of enjoying it right now.
Yeah.
But
do it.
I know at 10 he's supposed to be doing a Rocket League 1v1 tournament. So definitely great for this community. Let's go over there and tell him hi. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to hop on over there, twitch.tv/channel3GG. But we are going to send it over there. And we hope you guys all have a good one. And yeah, we'll catch you next time. Catch you guys later.